Hello and a warm welcome. This is the news on NTR International. My name is Justin Bemuyi and here are the top stories. Christians in Nigeria and around the world mark Good Friday. President Buhari in solidarity calls for unity across divides. Ghana pledges to support ECOWAS towards integrating people of the sub-region. Thank you very much for joining us. Christians in Nigeria and around the world are set for the Easter celebration with the marking of Good Friday. Now, what is Good Friday and why is Good Friday good? In this special report, Ololade Alayaki takes a look at what the day truly means to different people.
For many Christians around the world, Good Friday is a crucial day of the year. It commemorates Jesus Christ's passion, crucifixion, and death as narrated in the Christian Bible. As Lent winds to a close for the Christian Church, believers commemorate Good Friday in preparation for the celebration of the resurrection on Easter Sunday. What is the significance of Good Friday to Christians? What impact does it have on Christians?
What is very good there that we must note is that all these are lessons for us to live good lives. That one man volunteered to die for the sins of the whole world. And he died so that all of us will be saved and live eternally with God.
The essence of Good Friday is to give us hope that what are you going through? Are you sick? That is your Friday. Have you lost your job? Have you lost your property? Is anybody died in your life? That's your own Friday. Just know that as we had that Friday, Good Friday, your Sunday is coming.
It was on the day that the price to redeem mankind was paid. When the price was paid, it was heavy, but the outcome of the price has brought redemption to mankind.
On Good Friday, there are many traditions Christians, especially Catholics, follow. Most of all, they do not partake in, like eating of red meat. Peaceful coexistence, love, and forgiveness has been advocated by religious leaders this season. In Abuja, Ololade Alayaki, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari is rejoicing with all Nigerians, especially Christians, on the glorious occasion of Easter. In his message, President Buhari says Easter is the most important feast in the Christian calendar and represents God's redemptive mission over humanity. The triumph of light over darkness, hope over despair, and good over evil, and also a time to emulate the virtues of love, sacrifice, forgiveness, and endurance which Christ embodied and demonstrated during his earthly ministry. While encouraging the bond of brotherhood and good neighborliness, the president expressed sadness over communities caught up in cycles of violence and encourages Nigerians to unite against evil minority. President Muhammadu Buhari enjoins all Nigerians to intensify prayers for the country and promises not to take his re-election for granted, especially on the expectations of Nigerians. And moving on now, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has expressed satisfaction with the cooperation from foreign countries in tackling corruption by the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration. The minister stated this in London while responding to questions from his audience shortly after making a presentation on the federal government's achievements since it came into power in 2015. Anthony Forsen reports.
The minister's presentation was compact and touched on all areas of governance. The audience, however, stuck to corruption, which they took the minister on, and he went ahead to give further insight.
We've succeeded a bit. You all remember that the Abacha loot, about $300 million was returned to Nigeria. So we're still working and using all diplomatic efforts to get their cooperation. But the important thing about what we are doing and why we need cooperation of the international community is that before they were reluctant to return this money to Nigeria because they fear that if the money was returned to Nigeria, the money was going to be relooted.
There is the need to also step up efforts in the area of anti-money laundering.
Money is stolen in Africa or in Russia, and then in Panama, an offshore company is formed. Very little questions are asked. Then somewhere, probably Geshten, an offshore account is opened, and with the touch of the button, money moves. Now we'll continue to seek to strengthen international cooperation, especially with the developed countries where these accounts are.
Some members of the audience who are experts in their own field spoke to NTA.
There are visible effects, I suppose, especially on Boko Haram. Coming to the corruption issue, well, we've got a few ex-governors who are now in jail, I suppose. So that's also some progress. What we now need to focus on is investment and the economy. This second term has to be economy, and economy.
Over the next 4 years, if we can see more of that, as the Honourable Minister said, there will be a lot of tightening on incorrect flight of capital out of Nigeria, returning capital from jurisdictions where it's tied up in real estate, banks, investments, potentially even cryptocurrency, things which are a lot harder to trace. These efforts are increasing through the Nigerian government, which is encouraging. I imagine that's with the international community's cooperation and wanting to reduce corruption in the largest economy in Africa, there's a lot of potential and a lot of promise with what this government is trying to do.
Nigerians would expect that there will be a quickening in the speed of reforms in the economic and the political sphere in Nigeria over the next 4 years. The administration has made a good start in the past 4 years.
On the whole, the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration was given a pat on the back, having come this far to redeem the nation's image on the global scene. In London, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, says Ghana will continually support ECOWAS in its drive towards integrating the people of the sub-region. President Akufo-Addo stated this when he received the delegation of the ECOWAS Parliament at Jubilee House, Accra. Joseph Orok reports.
The ECOWAS Parliament's Joint Committee on Finance, Trade, Customs and Free Movements are in Ghana for its delocalized meeting to examine the effective ways to use the public-private partnership model. While on a visit to the President of Ghana, the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, lauded their efforts in the pursuit of the integration protocol of the sub-region.
In fact, one of the first most important decisions I had to take when I came to sit in this chair was the decision to send and commit Ghanaian troops to the mission in the Gambia to ensure that democratic processes and institutions there were upheld.
Speaker Mustafa Sisilo says the visit to Accra is part of the Parliament's fraternity with broader countries to further cement the integration of the sub-region.
I would like to say that our core mission is to promote the acceleration of our regional integration. For that, we have conducted a good number of field visits in different countries of our region.
Meanwhile, Ghana is seeking the support of the ECOWAS in its bid to host the secretariats of the proposed African Free Trade Zone as a long-standing supporter of the African Union. In Accra, Ghana, Joseph Orok, NTA News.
And back in Nigeria, the Minister of Defense, Mansour Danali, has commended the Federal Republic of Germany for her support to the Nigerian armed forces under the Nigeria-Germany bilateral relations. The minister gave the commendation during the inauguration of the remodeled medical center at the Martin Luther International Leadership and Peacekeeping Center, Kaduna, and receiving of mobile medical equipment. Harman Jabani reports.
The facility inaugurated by the Minister of Defense, represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, has been remodeled and upgraded to Level 2- Hospital, equipped with operating theatre an intensive care unit with 24 hours oxygen support, internal medicine and other life-saving facilities. The mobile medical care unit and the trauma mobile care unit donated by the German government are also equipped with the state-of-art facilities and are powered by solar panel and powered generators.
The center was equipped by the German government with an X-ray machine as well as other medical equipment. Also, the laboratory will be upgraded to provide first-class medical analysis.
Take it as a genuine manifestation of the close and most amicable relations between the Federal Republic of Germany and the Federal Republic of Nigeria and their armed forces in particular.
Representative of Chief of Defense Staff and the Chief of Army Staff said the 3 projects donated by the German government through the German Technical Advisory Group and the training of 200 Nigerian medical personnel in the 3 military services are essential to be used in the context of internal security, crisis management, and national defense. The medical center is one of the projects provided by Germany under the Equipment Aid Program for Foreign Armed Forces and related assignment of the German Armed Forces. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
And now coming from the National Assembly is a report that the House of Representatives has urged states of the Federation to adopt the law on the prohibition of violence against persons towards fast-tracking prosecution of cases of violence against women and girls. It was in the light of this that the House Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development organized a summit to further enlighten key players on the law. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The bill on the prohibition of violence against persons was passed by the National Assembly and signed into law in 2015. So far, 9 states have domesticated the law, with 27 others yet to do so. Speaker, House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara, in a message to the summit, said the law seeks to safeguard vulnerable persons within the family, community and society, adding that it covers offences such as trafficking in persons, sexual exploitation, economic abuse, harassment, and other forms of harmful traditional practice. The event featured paper presentations on the role of the legislature in shaping social behavior for nation building and gender-sensitive legislations and national developments.
Also, the Trafficking in Persons Act, which set up the NAPTIP, which regulates our behavior.
You're passing a law, you need to finance its implementation. And that's why every law comes with a compendium, which you know means the amount of resources required to have the law take effect.
A communique was issued at the end of the summit. Lami Ali, NTA News.
And now time for a break on NTA International News. The news continues in a moment. And you're welcome back. A prosecution witness in the trial of Dr. Doyin Okupe says the former special assistant to the president on public affairs did not pay any media outfit from the funds belonging to the office of the National Security Advisor. His testimony forms part of proceedings at the trial before the Federal High Court in Abuja. Olabode Ariwa reports.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission arraigned Doyin Okupe, Value Trust Investments Limited and Abraham Telecoms Limited on 49-count charge bordering on alleged fraud and receiving money from the National Security Advisor's office. At the resumed trial, the prosecution witness Ibrahim Audu called Remigius Ngu a staff of Zenith Bank. The witness tendered bank statements which showed that Doyin Okupe had financial interest in the 2 aforementioned companies. He, however, told the court that there was no evidence that any money was paid to the media outfits from the bank. After his witness, the defense counsel asked the court for an adjournment to enable them obtain more documents for their defense.
The duty is on the prosecution to prove this case beyond reasonable doubt, and that is what we are doing.
In the statement to the EFCC, you never mentioned that any payments were made to NTA or any media house from the account of Dr. Doyin Okupe.
So we are going to test the evidence of the prosecution at the cross-examination.
The case has been adjourned to the 14th of May 2019 in Abuja. Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has inspected facilities at the Galaxy Backbone with a mandate on the management to ensure that Nigeria is connected to the broadband cyber system to enhance the takeoff of e-governance in all government agencies. Galaxy Backbone Limited is the sole provider of internet services for both government and other corporate organizations in Nigeria, with facilities spread across the country. Ahmed Ondas Ahmed reports.
As part of preparation for the inauguration of the new government come May 29, there is the need to embark on new e-governance master plan drive to connect all ministries and parastatals in order to do away with the paper culture in public service. This drive, according to the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, will enhance quick service delivery and efficiency in the implementation of government programs for the good of the populace, as Galaxy Backbone Limited is making efforts to give Nigeria a new lease of life in the internet world.
We must begin to deploy them, and the only way we can deploy them is to literally compare them at a huge cost to government in terms of investment. And I believe that the way forward in efficiency, effectiveness, and to deliver on the mandate of the government will
have to be thought. Whenever you digitize government, you also have the problem of the fact that you're making government advance. Therefore, the people that you're trying to service must also be carried along. So whatever we are deploying is not limited to only government. When we say government, we also, as we pass through cities, we're heading for the Federal Secretariat. But as we pass through state secretariats, we provide service to them as well. Schools, hospitals, all of them belonging to government. Ultimately, it's one government.
The Galaxy Backbone facilities have so far covered 11 states and the FCT in the first phase, with a target of reaching 20 more states in the second phase in order to connect the country to the cyber world. Ahmed Ondas Ahmed, NTA News.
The federal government has recognized the establishment of University of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, Umuagu, Imo State, as the second state-owned university in the state. The Executive Secretary of National Universities Commission, Professor Abubakar Adamu Rashid, said these are the presentation of government's position to Governor Rochas Okorocha in Abuja. Olayinka Ojo reports.
Increasing the number of candidates who secure admissions informed the presentation of this letter of government recognizing the establishment of the University of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, Umuagu, Imo State, having met all the necessary requirements for the establishment of a public-owned university.
This is the master plan.
Professor Rashid stressed the need for Imo State government to be more creative in moving education forward in the country.
By a copy of this letter, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, that is JAM, the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund, and the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, are being notified of the establishment of the university.
On funding and infrastructural development, Governor Rochas Okorocha said arrangement is being made to partner the private sector. He added that the new university is a specialized institution that will enable people to be self-employed.
They will take advantage of this July admission. When I go back now and inaugurate the governing council, they will begin the admission of students in this University of Agriculture.
With more than 500,000 admission seekers in the state, the governor said plans are underway to establish 5 more universities in the state. The University of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences will be the 49th state-owned university in the country. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
The Buhari Media Organization and the All Progressives Congress APC have applauded the decision of President Muhammadu Buhari to sign into effect the 30,000 naira minimum wage for Nigerian workers. In separate statements, the organizations note that the president is not an ovation-seeking president, but rather a pragmatic leader who wants to ensure that there is budgetary provision to accommodate the increase in the minimum wage.
APC has commended President Muhammadu Buhari on his assent to the new and improved minimum wage for Nigerian workers. A statement by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Larry Issa-Onilo, described the gesture as another election promise delivered, adding that workers truly deserve a new, improved and implementable minimum wage in view of current economic realities. The party equally acknowledged President Buhari's led APC administration as exhibited in the federal government's bailouts to states' government to pay workers' salaries, housing schemes for civil servants, among other welfare packages. Also commended our stakeholders that ensured the achievement of this laudable feat, particularly the National Assembly, state governors, the Amapepo-led Tripartite Committee, Labour, trade unions, and indeed Nigerian workers. The Buhari Media Organization has commended the decision of President Muhammadu Buhari to sign into effect the 30,000 naira minimum wage for Nigerian workers. In a statement by its chairman, Niyi Akinshiju, and Secretary Cassidy Madwike, BMO noted that President Buhari has consistently shown that he is the workers' friend and that he cares about the welfare of the ordinary people. The president's decision to sign the upward review of the minimum wage even after the election shows that he is not an ovation-seeking president, but rather a pragmatic leader who wants to ensure that there is budgetary provision to accommodate the increase in the minimum wage. The group thanked all those who ensured the tripartite structure of states, federal and labor unions reached an agreement that will increase the purchasing power of the people.
The federal government has assured Nigerians that it will not compromise its standards in ensuring that all genetically modified products allowed into the country are safe and for consumption. Director General, National Biosafety Management Agency, Rufus Ebegba, said this while briefing the media on the issues surrounding GMO produce and products in Nigeria. Adebola Brooks on the reports.
Every new technology is intended to achieve a purpose with its advantages and disadvantages, which usually comes with mixed feelings, especially at its early stages. Urging newsmen to always educate the people on the innovation and the need for balanced reportage, the Director General said the federal government, through the agency, has put in place a world-class system to protect the interests of Nigerians. Dr. Rufus Ebegba then led members of the pen profession to the Genetic Modification, Detection and Analysis Laboratory, where he showed them samples of genetically modified foods they have analyzed, and then spoke on his collaboration with supporting agencies.
Presently, the National Biosafety Management Agency is not at the border, and we are also, apart from the custom, we are also working with NAFDAC and also Nigeria Agricultural Quarantine Service. These agencies are the border agencies, and we are also planning to give them simple detection kit of genetics to be able to identify genetically modified organisms, particularly those that are coming in large quantities.
Those who are opposed to GMO use in Nigeria have some points, then the agency also needs to have its own voice heard about what it ought to be doing. So balanced reportage, and that's why we're journalists and media executives.
The Biosafety Agency was established to ensure results of modern biotechnology is safe for humans, animals, and Nigeria's biodiversity. Adebola Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
The federal government has raised concerns over incessant felling of economic trees for energy, with an appeal to state governors to come up with modalities towards addressing the menace in their states. And this is coming as Nigeria is making efforts to improve tree crops, especially shea butter and coconut tree for oil extraction for export. And Musa Babali reports.
Niger State is the largest producer of shea butter in the country, due to large concentration of shea trees in all the 25 local government areas of the state. High demand for charcoal for energy is, however, threatening the existence of this economic tree in the state. The Niger State governor, in a bid to plow its resources for economic transformation, is engaging the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development in this meeting to discuss ways of addressing the menace.
We had meetings with a few partners that have indicated interest in soybeans, ginger, and cashew nuts, and sesame seeds. All this we can grow in Niger. As a matter of fact, even without any intervention from the government, the local people are already doing very well in that sector. So they just need a small push and coordination.
The federal government is also to support states that are willing to establish livestock development programs and grazing areas in their states.
The big mistake over the years is that people forget that that herdsman is a farmer. He is a farmer. But we have done for every other sector of agriculture everything possible.
Yes.
In the last 50 years, nothing for the herdsman. So his style has become a problem. And that's what we're trying to solve.
Niger State has established 31 hectares for livestock development in Bobi Mariga local government area in the state, with a view to settling livestock breeders towards addressing conflicts with farmers in the state. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
That ends the news. Thank you very much for watching.